thank you so much for doing this interview with me. I got to ask you right off the top, how are you doing? It's been a crazy time for, I keep saying the last year and a half. It's going to be going up to 2 years now, okay?
In 2 years.
How have you been handling, I always go into all the bad stuff, but now I just say, how are you been handling, quote unquote, the new world?
The new world. Wow. Um, I've been doing well. I think I've said now a few times, in my circle that I'm one of the lucky ones that's been really busy and blessed with a lot of opportunities, of course. RBCX Music has been a huge support, like a really genuine, huge support throughout this new world time, as you're saying. But yeah, I've been good. Like everyone else, I think I've been in that roller coaster of, oh my God, the world is ending. Oh my God, why am I singing songs? What is the point of anything? No one cares. To, I'm going to record an album. Okay, let's do it. Let's put it all together. I don't know if everyone's going through that roller coaster, but that's been mine.
That is the best one that we need because when you create great music, it gives us time to reflect, to enjoy its peace. It's like, okay, yes, there's a new world, but at least we still got part of the old world. And that old world is great music, and especially from Canadian artists like yourself. RBC, you mentioned about that. X Music. How does it feel being the chosen few to be part of this? And for folks who don't know exactly what this is, what is it exactly, and what has it done for your career?
Yeah, so how does it feel? It feels, like I said, genuine support. There's support that comes and goes, and, there's lots of one off opportunities for some folks, but this has been ongoing, which is, I think, the really special and unique thing about that. And essentially, how this all happened was I saw an ad on Facebook, I think, early on in the pandemic for the RBCX Music um, program. It was a performance opportunity, and I submitted myself and my partner, who's a music artist as well, Boogie the Beat, and we both got it, which was super fun, and it was awesome. It was a well-paid, pre-recorded gig. And I said, okay, this is great. And then these press opportunities started happening, and we ended up in the local newspaper, and this and that, and all these awesome things like E-Talk. I got an interview on E-Talk, and so that was awesome. And then they invited me back again. They said, hey, you're alumni now. Come back, do the First Step program again. We're going to do another pre-recorded series of videos that we'll promote online. Awesome. Sounds fun. Love it. And then come around in the new year of this year, they gave me a call and they said, hey, we really want to continue supporting you. We believe in that long-term, like diving board kind of concept of like, let's keep launching you, right? And I said, yes, I will take your money. Absolutely. I will use it.
You know what you need? You need like the red phone like the president has, and
Yeah,
it should be hooked up with RBC. So when you say it lighting up, okay, we're back again. We're doing this again.
ready.
That's amazing. I love stories like that, especially because, like I said, we're all going through a hard time right now. When we hear about success stories like yourself, it gives us confidence in going, you know what? If she's doing it, I can get on that yellow brick road too, and I can get to the Wizard of Oz. So, congratulations with the success. And we want to talk about your career too. Winnipeg is home? Yes or no?
Yes, yes, correct.
What is it like growing up in Winnipeg and for music for you? What's the diversity like there?
Yeah, I mean, myself, I grew up for the most part as a young kid. I grew up on a farm actually out in the bush, and I spent a lot of time on the land and surrounded by the trees, and that was a lot of my, most early on inspiration was just like really natural things. And then in my teens, I moved into Winnipeg, into the big city. As a farm kid, Winnipeg was the big city. And, ever since I started really getting into the music scene, which was 2011, so I was 16, I, started singing songs with my guitar, and I was like, hey, this is kind of fun. I'm actually really enjoying this. And I entered the NCI Jam, which is a super fun, it's retired now, but a super fun singing competition um, that gets aired on live on the radio here. Super, super big and fun in like the Indigenous music scene. So I entered that kind of on a whim and ended up winning. I was like, oh, okay, I could actually maybe do this. This is so cool. And so once I really dipped my toes into the music scene here, I was like, wow, this is actually such a great place to get started. There's a ton of opportunities. You're in the middle of Canada, so it's kind of far still, but it's not like as far as if I was in PEI and I wanted to go play in Vancouver, right? So I'm in the middle. It's easy to go places. There's a huge Indigenous music scene here, which is, like a family for sure, for a lot of us. And it's just, a really decent place to get started. We have really, really cold, long winters, but the summer is full of music festivals. It's full of places to play. So it's been nice to have a little bit of a reprieve here in our new world situation, as you would say, because we've been able to go and have some live shows again and play for people outdoors, which has been awesome. So it's a great place. Can't wait to get out of here. Love you, Winnipeg, but I can't wait to go play some more shows outside of here too.
Yeah, because we need you here in Toronto and Ontario. So we're looking forward for you to making that path over here. It's kind of funny when we talk about your music. I mean, it's not folk, it's not country. I know people have called it soul, but it's a different type of soul. Yours is like the soul of the earth, soul of essence, soul of spirituality. That's what I find what your music comes from. Where does that essence of soul come from to be created into your music?
Can you write my new bio for me? Because that was perfect.
Sure. Writing it down right now.
That was great. I mean, I take inspiration from everywhere around me. Like when it comes to what I listen to, this is cliche, but I really do listen to everything. I'm a huge fan of all different types of artists and genres. So that's, I think, part of it. And then, as I mentioned too, like I really did spend a lot of time surrounded by trees. I grew up in a huge family. I have 5 siblings, so there's 8 of us in the house. We were homeschooled. We lived on a farm, so we were just always up in each other's business. And so my alone time, my personal therapy moment, I think, was I'd go get lost in the bush and I'd just go walk around and look at bugs and the trees and listen to them singing for hours. And then eventually I started taking a guitar out with me too, and I would just sit in the bush and just sing about my problems and sing about my dreams. And that was a big part. And I think in a way, like I didn't even realize that I was kind of creating my own like ceremony, like pulling on my Indigenous side, of course, right? I'm mixed. My mom's side is Anishinaabe from Barons River First Nation. And that's a huge part of my identity, especially, living on the land of my family. Our family's from this area and from the prairies, right? And that's a huge part because it's interwoven, of course, into my identity, and I think that comes out in my music as well, that there's just something, there's just a bit more there than just another folk song or just another soul song, like you said. There's a bit of spirit and a bit of and that's me too, as like a person, as I'm just a little off. Just kidding.
Jump in there. Not even close being off, because you help out a lot in the community while you got your career going too at the same time.
Yeah, that's super important to me, and yeah. No, I'm teasing myself about my personality because I love that I'm weird, and I'm a big advocate for being who you are, even if you're weird, But that's a huge part of what I do, is the work I do in the community as well, mentoring youth, especially Indigenous youth. And I love what you said at the beginning of the interview, talking about helping other people see that they can do this too, because that's why I want better representation, especially of women, especially gender minorities, and then even more so of Indigenous gender minorities in the scene and at the board, at the forefront of each of these roles.
I want to flip the switch just for a moment, because we've talked about all the things that have been going on this year. I mean, more truth in the stories behind and what's been going on with the Indigenous culture, Black Lives Matter. So many things have been going on that have, can I say, surfaced? Because to me, it's always been there, but it's like, it's like what drives me crazy when people say, "Oh, we've awoken." It's like, what do you mean you've awoken? It's always been there. It's just like, oh, now you're being told, hey, this is what's happening here. How did you feel about all these things that you were seeing happening in this last 2 years, because I know for myself, it man, it was frustrating because, like I said, it was like, but we knew these things. Why now are you acting like, oh, I'm surprised to see this?
Yeah, and especially the last 6 months have been really tough, with the residential school, residential prisons findings, of all the mass burials. And it's just like you said, like when the first headline hit, of course it was painful. Of course that was traumatizing, but we knew it's not news. It's just news that is becoming a mainstream topic. And then, of course, it's very frustrating now because the viralness of it has gone and people have stopped talking about it mainstream again, So it's been a tough year. I'm trying to do what I can as an artist and take that and bring it into my music, and then I just I try to, hold my family tighter and love them harder, and if I can educate people along the way, that's really important to me too. I have a very different experience as a white Indigenous person. I don't look Indigenous to most people, and so I know that I carry a different responsibility, because my lived experience is so different, and I don't face that same racism that a lot of my brown relatives do. And so I really, have a responsibility, I think, to carry a lot more of that weight of teaching people of, the truth and encouraging them to go educate themselves, So there's been some work that's been going on. So I'm definitely tired, but it's really important, I think that there won't be reconciliation at all until the truth really is widespread. And we're just barely scratching the surface right now.
Amen to that. If you ever get a chance, there's some great films that are going to be at the Toronto International Film Festival that really does talk about that subject too. I've had a chance to screen some of them already. So what I'll do later on is I'll send you some of the titles. You have to see these because they're absolutely amazing. And again, what's amazing, of course, is your music. Story wise, what stories do you like to tell through music?
When I first started, it was very much my diary, and it was hard to even enter a co-writing session because I'd get so sensitive about, well, this is my story. And now I'm still telling my story, but I'm leaving a lot more room for interpretation because I want you to hear yourself in that music. I want you to go, oh my God, she's singing about my life, And so, the next album that's coming out, it'll come out next year in the spring or so. And that one is going to be all about toxic relationships and emotional abuse and, domestic abuse in relationships. And so that's going to be kind of the next big story that I tell, is revealing a lot about where I've been, between this huge gap in releases. I have a, almost 7-year gap between my last 2 releases. So I'm going to tell you all now where I've been and, what took me so long to have some more music out and start, swimming through that story. There's a lot of water themes in it. The basic concept is that water is this beautiful, romantic, comforting element. It's the most basic thing we need for life. And it can feel really tempting to be underwater. And the thing is with water, though, is if you stay in it too long, you just drown. So we'll be unveiling all that soon. Yeah.
That's the truth. You have to respect the water. Because if it comes back at you, it can come back at you hard if it wants to. Absolutely. What music can we get right now from you at this point?
So there's one single that I released last year. It's called Let Go, and I did a collaboration with an artist from the UK named Milan Andre, and I love that song. It's such a sweet song. I'll have a single out soon, and then the album cycle will start, and I'll start giving away that music as well.
Well, hold on. Let's go back to that other first single you were talking about. What's that song about?
Well, the next one that'll come out.
No. The one you were talking about. The one. Yeah. What's that one about?
So Let Go, it was so fun. Milan and I were working up in northern Quebec in the Cree community of Nemiska, and we were teaching songwriting and music production. And we're good friends, and the song just kind of poured out of us. It was so fun, and we ended up recording it in a one take off the floor recording. So essentially, imagine there's a mic in the middle. He's on one side. I'm right on the other side, and we did this whole thing in one take. It was so fun. I've never recorded like this. We did this in like one of the bedrooms in the apartment that we were put up in, and it was just so cool. And then he produced the rest of it and added on all the atmospheric textures and layers. But the song, it's at the core, having to let go of expectations, and this is what you're supposed to be. This is what you're supposed to be doing. No, let go of that. Allow for a bit of, the world's winds to push you in the direction you're supposed to go. Listen to those gut feelings and intuition that's naturally within you, and let go of the rest. A lot of people are going to come along in your life and tell you who you're supposed to be or what you're not supposed to be or doing this and that. And to really just turn inward and trust, for me and like my background, like that's turning towards my ancestors and my teachings and my prayers, and for another person that's going to be a different meaning, right? But let go. Just let go.
Oh my goodness, you have an old soul. Amazing. Even though we won't be able to get that old soul here performing in Ontario, what's going on in your area? Are there going to be performances?
Yeah, I've been, busy here and there. I'm playing the Harvest Moon Festival for the first time in 2 weeks, and they're sold out right now. But they may be releasing some more tickets. We're waiting on some province of Manitoba health orders to allow for that to happen. Well, so we'll see. I'm playing the Beer Can here in Winnipeg next week. A couple of things here and there. But for sure, the best way to find out about all of that is to head to my Instagram page. That's where I spend the most time, I think, for sure. Or my website, either of those, and I always tell you about them there.
As we're hitting this fourth wave, what advice can you give us to stay in the light and keep our path going, and not getting all cramped up with all the frustration?
Get vaccinated. Please, for the love of God, go get vaccinated. If this is the sign you were waiting for, go get vaccinated right now, please. No, for real though, that's really important to me. I've lived with asthma all my life, so I've been terrified through this whole thing, because I know if I go down, I go hard. So I'm lucky I got vaccinated early and got both my doses, and that's a huge barrier of why we're in this fourth wave. So I would love that. But also, don't be so hard on yourself when it comes to the bad days. And for real though, I've had some roller coaster moments. It's been crazy. And I'm so appreciative of those in my family and, like my partner and my friends that have kept me really grounded through all of this and reminded me to just keep going and, to take breaks, be kind. That's the best thing I think that we can do right now.
Just, I got my two done. So just so you know, got my two done. Before we go, I'm just curious though, what is your favorite mask to wear? Do you have like a particular one that you like to wear when you're out, or do you wear the, disposable ones that you throw away?
I've got really into these Puma ones. They have like, the wire, the adjustable straps. They're comfy, so I like those. I had, I don't know, 12 or 14 of those for our family at one point, and now I have 3 of them. So I really don't know where they're going or what's happening. So the best mask is the mask on your face, though. So that's what I'm trying to do, is just keep wearing it even if I don't have to. But yeah, that's simple. I know some people who were like, "Oh, I got this silk one," and then they're like, "Oh crap, I broke out because I got this one." Just wear what works and stick with it.
There you go. Exactly. You are an amazing person, an amazing talent. I'm so glad we had a chance to talk. And since I did get my shots, if you ever do come to Ontario, hopefully we get the chance to meet in person and that we can talk. And I love your story. Can't wait to hear when the new album comes out. Congratulations on everything you're doing, especially with RBC. So Again, congratulations and hope to talk to you again soon. Thank you for the interview.
Thank you so much. This has been really fun.